Okay, so hi, so I just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. I did kind of like change my lip color after work because I actually ended up finally going out with some of my coworkers from Cheesecake. I don't really hang out with them, not my personal preference, just I don't really go and initiate hanging out with somebody because I'm like a lot older than most of the people that work there. I mean, there are older people that work there, but they're not like too many people that are in my age area. There's more people that are like younger than me, so I don't want to like be weird and be like, hang out with like younger people, but I hung out with people that were like 21 and 22 tonight. I don't want to sound like an old lady, but it was fun. Like we went and just smoked, and I haven't smoked in a while, and it was like, a lot of fun. And we just went to Cheesecake to wait for we went to Cheesecake before we smoked, and we were waiting for another one of my coworkers to get out of work, and she didn't get out of work till like almost after 10:30 when she was supposed to be like done at the same time as me, but like another table was trying to play that it was her birthday, so they tried to get like free shit or something. So yeah, anyway, so I did do mostly a Kat Von D look today. I did change up my lip color, but I like this lip color a lot more than the one I was wearing. But I did just wear this black lace shirt because it's not like it was something that I'm like uncomfortable in, but I thought we were gonna go like like out to eat somewhere, so I kind of wore something a little bit nicer, like around like 10:30, 11. But Angie didn't show up till like almost 12 or something at my friend's house, and I had went with him, like I picked him up because he had to have a car. But it's fine. He lives like right near Cheesecake, not even that far from me. He lives in Huntington, so not like it was a big deal. And we went to Cheesecake to wait for Angie, but she had like literally just walked out the door when we went back. But we decided to get some slices of cheesecake together because like we were waiting, and like they just gave it to us because like they like getting rid of their stock at night, so they just gave it to us for free. Don't tell anybody. And then after that, we like ate it there, and we were waiting for her to get off work, but she had just left. So we actually went to another one of our coworkers was joining us. So she got off from the bakery, and then we went back to Jada's house to pick her up because she went back home to change, and then we went to pick her up, and then we went back to Dylan's house to wait for Angie to get there because she didn't leave work until like almost like 10:45, and then we just smoked there. So that was fun. So anyway, I primed my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I'm not sure how I feel about my concealer and my foundation today. The foundation looked okay. Maybe it was because I used a luminous primer that it didn't really work out as well as I wanted it to. I don't know, I just feel like my concealer always settles into fine lines sometimes, and it's really annoying. So today I decided to use the Clinique 2-in-1 foundation and concealer in the color 0.5 Breeze. So I used that, and then I went in with the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in the color L5 Neutral, because like I said, I wanted to use a lot of Kat Von D products today, so I used that. And it looks good on my face, but it kind of got a little bit patchy around my chin and around here. I think it was more of the foundation, but the foundation still looks pretty good on my skin, so I'm not too worried. And it does always make my skin look, sorry, I'm really tired. It does make my skin look flawless, but it just takes a little bit of work. But yeah, I did really like the result. And then I went over everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the color 2. And then I primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-Hour Primer. And then went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then I went in with the Matte Makeup Geek Beaches and Cream as my transition shade. And then I went in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette today, because it's the only shade eye palette, because it's the only eye palette I have from Kat Von D. And I love it, and I use it as much as I can. So I used the shade Ludwin in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Succubus. And then I used Citri on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went in with a Metal Crush shadow in the shade Dose, so I used that. And then for the brow bone, I mixed together the white and the yellow. So I used Latest and Liberatus, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it was Lucius. Yeah, it was Lucius. Then I lined my eyes with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Mad Max Brown. But I did go over it with the shade Trooper after work, just to, you know, put on some black eyeliner and a dark lip. And then I went in with the NARS Audacious Mascara on the top. And then I concealed and highlighted under my eyes with the Kat Von D Lock and Concealer. But like I said, it really did settle into my fine lines tonight and made it look really creasy. It looks okay now because I decided to go over it more with more concealer. But I kind of just like caked on the concealer today. And yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but whatever. And then I set my concealer with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. And then I lined my waterline with the Urban Decay Glide on Sight on 24-hour pencil in the shade 0. Because I couldn't find my Swerve pencil at the time. I think it's still in my purse. I just didn't check it yet. But it's okay. I wanted to use it. Anyway, then I also smudged a little bit of Samuel on the lower lash line from the Kat Von D palette. And then I highlighted the inner corners with Kat Von D's Thunderstruck, obviously, because I use it like every time. And then I went in with the MAC Extended Play Cake Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Then I contoured with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, obviously with the lightest shade. And then I went in with the lightest shade for the, not the contour, but like to clean up the contour. Underneath, I love that shade. I just forget the names, so it's not very hard to figure out. There's only 3 shades in each one. And then I highlighted with 2 different highlighters today. I wanted something pretty golden, but something a little subtle as well. So I went in with the NARS Dual Intensity Blush in the shade Jubilation. And then I topped it off with the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo highlight in the shade 2 with that gold highlight. Because I want to shy away from using Champagne Pop all the time. So I use that instead. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder. And I set everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel. And then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer. Then I lined them with the Urban Decay Glide on Sight on 24-hour pencil in the shade Liar. And then I filled them in with the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Chili Chili, which is kind of similar to one of the colors that my coworker wears. She really, like, her makeup is always flawless. She wears, like, big false lashes, a really strong contour, and, like, really bold lips. And she's a lot darker skinned than me, so she can pull off bold lips a lot better, like, for every day. But I can't wear this like every day to work. It just looks like too much. Like, I'm just not that type of person to wear this every day to work. I did wear it once to work and I was like, oh, this is like really like a lot darker than the actual tube. But for work, I did go in with a Kat Von D lipstick because like I said, I wanted to use Kat Von D today. And I used the Makeup Forever Aqua Lip Liner in the shade 1C. And then I filled in my lips with the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Noble because I haven't used it in like forever. And then I topped it off with the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Fairy Floss. And the guy that I was going out with tonight, he's like super gay, so there's like no problem with hanging out with him. He was like obsessed with my lip color. He's like, oh, I love it. It's so cute. And he thought it was Kylie Jenner. I'm like, no, it's Kat Von D. But it kept on like transferring like crazy, like the inner part, and I hate that, and it was kind of flaking a little bit, so I had to constantly like reapply it every time I went to the bathroom. But this, I only applied it once, and it hasn't went anywhere, and I ate cheesecake with it. Nothing. It still looks flawless. Like, I just reapplied a little bit of the inner part, because it was kind of bleeding a little bit, but honestly did not go anywhere. I love this shade, and yeah, that's it. Bye! Okay, so hi, so just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. I did just work. The eyes kind of like turned out a little bit more neutral than I wanted them to be because again, for some reason I'm having like difficulty with like Too Faced shadows on my lid and they just like end up transferring into like basically nothing. So, and I don't know what this is on my face. I think that's better. But anyway, there's like a mark there. I don't know. Yeah, so I did just work tonight. I was going to record a haul video, but I did pick up quite a few things from Ulta today, but I kind of made more money than I thought I was going to tonight. So I might go pick up like 2 more things tomorrow. It's just like stuff that I want to replace. And then just record the haul tomorrow instead. I think that's what I'm going to do. Even though I always like love recording hauls whenever I can, I kind of just want to pick up those so I don't have to worry about picking them up. At another time, I know I was just at Ulta today, but I have to kind of go back and I kind of forgot to pick those up. So anyway, I prime my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Stila One Step Corrector. One of my friends did text me to ask me to go out again tonight. Actually, 2 people asked me to hang out tonight from Cheesecake. It is so weird. I know I'm like all over the place, forgive me. But I didn't like retouch my makeup up at all, so I'm probably just going to take it off after this. But yeah, actually one of my coworkers, Rob, asked me if he wanted to go get a drink. He's hilarious, and he was like, I'm going to see if you want to get a drink, you know? And he's like, he's just so funny. He's had a girlfriend for like a long time, but he was like, I want to see you want to get a drink, you know, hang out. And I was like, well, I'm kind of at work. And he's like, oh yeah, well, they don't need you, you can leave. And I was like, yeah, okay. So he asked me, and then also, Angie asked me last night if she was going to see me at Dylan's tonight, but Dylan didn't really say anything to me tonight. I did hang out with them last night, and that was so much fun. But I actually couldn't even really hang out tomorrow because I'm supposed to go to Yom Kippur services because I'm Jewish, and I go to Yom Kippur services tomorrow morning. So I wasn't really going to be able to hang out tomorrow morning. I know I still sound nasally. I think it's just because my room is like not very clean. I have to clean it at some point, that I'm like still getting nasally at night for some reason. Like this thing that I have just won't go away. So anyway, then I concealed with the then I went in with my foundation, which was the YSL Touche Éclat foundation in the color B10 Beige. And then I concealed with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Light Warm. And then I set everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the shade 2. Then I primed my eyes with a Smashbox 24-hour primer, and then went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then I went in with the Makeup Geek Beaches and Cream as my transition. Actually, I didn't use it today. I actually just went in with everything with this Too Faced Holiday palette, the Le Grand Palette, I believe, from last year. So I did use this palette today. Just because I keep on seeing so many... Oh, fuck. Please don't dig your... I kind of like dug my finger into it accidentally, the bronzer. It was just right on the outside, so it really didn't do any damage, but it did get it underneath my nail and pigment, like, kind of everywhere, but whatever. I forgot I wanted to use the blush in here, but I used a different blush. That was kind of dumb. And I should have used the highlight in here, too, but I used a different blush and highlight. So anyway, I don't know about this palette. I kind of didn't love it. You know what's funny? I like this palette. I do. I like it, but I just don't think it's as easily blendable as like the Chocolate Bar formula. And I've only used this palette like 4 or 5 times. I mostly use it just to display in my room just because I love it so much, and I just feel like if I use it too much, like, I don't know, I just feel weird about using it because it's just such a collector's item for me. But what's funny is that with this palette, I feel like the mattes are better in here than the shimmers. Because I feel like the shimmers are very glittery and they're kind of just like a glitter bomb. But they're saying for the palette that is out this year that the shimmers are better and that the mattes aren't very good. Like, they don't swatch very well, which is pretty funny. I think that the mattes are pretty nice in this palette. So, I went in with Vintage Lace first all over the eye. Then I went in with Cobblestone on the crease. They do take a little bit of work to work with. So that's the only thing I really don't like. And then City Lights, I went in to darken up the crease more, but it kind of faded, so whatever. And then I went in with Dreamlight and a little bit of Belle Femme on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I did go in with Arc de Triomphe first, but it didn't really do much, so I did want to lighten it up more with Delightful. But I don't know, it kind of just completely faded and just looks like a matte brown eye, so then it basically is okay for me. It's not really a huge deal. And then for the brow bone, I highlighted with White Christmas and Vintage Lace. And that was really it from that palette, and then I did use a couple of colors on the lower lash line and stuff. And then I went in with the Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Mad Max Brown. It kind of just faded a little bit, but I don't really care. I feel like it looks more natural like that. And then I went in with a new mascara today, but it's not new to me. It's just I finally purchased it in the full size. So I went in with the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. But I wasn't too crazy about it in the full size. I don't know. I just feel like people say that the tester sizes are better for certain mascaras. So I'm going to test it out more and see how I feel about it, but I did fall in love with it when I had the tester size. So the wand is just like gigantic, but I do really like it. Then I concealed under my eyes with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and then I set that with the Laura Mercier Stick Brightening Powder. Then I smudged a little bit of Cobblestone and City Lights on the lower lash line, and then I highlighted the inner corners with Satin Sheets and Moon on Their Wings. I use these two colors, which are really, really pretty on the inner corners. I definitely like those in the inner corners. It gives a really nice glow. And then I went in with the MAC Inside Like a Black Lash. Basically, like really glittery eyeshadows, you can make them work really well in the inner corners, and they'll still give you that really nice highlight. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what I just did. That was weird. Anyway, then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cobalt Bronzer, and then I went in with the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Blush in the shade Fetish because I really wanted it to match my lip color. And I really like this color for this lipstick. And then I went in with the Makeup Geek Kathleen Lights Highlighter Palette, and I went in with the shade, I don't know why my nose is so nasally, with the shade Starlight, I believe. Yeah, Starlight. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, and then I set everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel, and then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer, then I lined them with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Lumiere, and then I filled them in with the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Queen Bee. I love this shade so much. It's so super comfortable to wear no matter how many times you layer these. They might not last forever throughout eating, but they're so comfortable to wear. That's why I love them. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Bye! Okay, so hi, so I just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. I'm not really feeling my lips too much because I did actually end up topping it off with a darker red that I tried to, because I originally like topped it with like a brighter red, but then I thought a darker red would look better, so I used this one instead. So I did have to go to Yom Kippur services this morning because, like I said, I'm Jewish, so the Yom Kippur services for this morning, so I did wear this dress. I really like it. It's a really cute dress. It has like a really nice design on it. So I wore that, and it's actually a new dress, so I thought it was just really cute to wear. And then I topped it with a same brand kind of sweater vest thing. I think it's really adorable. I don't know why it froze, and yeah, it looks like that. So that's what I wore with like regular stockings and like little booties, like my most comfortable booties I own. I was thinking about working tonight because I actually can't see my friend now because he has to study for a test, so I actually just don't really have any plans today. But I'm so tired from getting up early this morning that I'm kind of just thinking about staying home. So, I wanted to just see, like, I actually just ended up, there are 2 shifts that are released tonight that I was thinking about picking up. And then I was also thinking about working tomorrow morning because I'm trying to pick up a shift from somebody tomorrow morning, so I did try and pick up that shift. I don't think I can tell you like who else is trying to pick it up, but I did set it up for auto pickup, so hopefully I will be able to get it. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm pretty tired, so I wasn't sure if I was going to work tonight or not. I was thinking about just staying home and having a home-cooked meal because I already tried to pick up a shift tomorrow night, but I really need to work more, but then I would only have... Actually, I probably should stay off today because then the only day I would have off is Friday. Because if I work today, then I wouldn't have tomorrow morning off if I have if I work tomorrow. So I guess I will stay off today and not do anything because I was really supposed to see my friend to like get coffee with him and stuff, but I can't see him. So anyway, I'm probably just going to take off my makeup now because I don't think we're really doing much. I was thinking about just going to Ulta later or maybe going to the gym. I'm not sure yet. Depends on if I'm not like really tired. So I prime my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Stila One-Step Corrector. Then I went in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 2, and then I concealed with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Fair Neutral. I've kind of tried to do something a little bit more subtle this morning because, you know, I was just going to services, so I didn't want to do anything too crazy, but I just wanted to pair it with a red lip. And then I went over everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the color 2. And then I primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-Hour Primer, and then went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then I went in with all Makeup Geek shadows today because I used the Manny MUA Makeup Geek palette. So I used the shade Peaches and Cream first. Then I darkened up the crease more with Sora, and then I went in with Frappe to define the crease, and then I went in with Aphrodite. And then I went in with Luna on the lid. It does transfer a lot, but it's still a really pretty shade. And then I went in with Vanilla Bean, of course, on the brow bone. I was going to use like a silver look, but I was so tired because I only got like 4 hours of sleep because I couldn't really fall asleep, so yeah. Then I lined my eyes with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper, and then I went in with the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara on the top. Then I concealed under my eyes with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and then set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Blending Powder. Then I smudged Sora and Frappe on the lower lash line, and then I highlighted the inner corners with Artemis. And then I went in with the MAC 10 Really Kick Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cabo Bronzer in the shade Cabo. And then I went in with the Becca blush. I'm sorry, I'm just confused about work right now. I'll say it in a second. Then I went in with the Becca Jaclyn Hill blush in the shade Amaretto on my cheeks. And then I highlighted with the Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector Pressed in Opal. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder. And then I set everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel. And then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer. Then I lined them with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Bossy. And then I did fill them in originally with the NARS Velvet Lip Crayon in the shade Cruella, because I haven't used it in like forever, but it was a little bit too bright for what I was going for, so I decided to go in with MAC's matte lipstick in the shade Sin over that. And what's so funny is that like Yom Kippur is about confessing your sins, so I felt guilty about wearing a shade that was called Sin, but it was the only shade I really wanted to wear, so I wore that instead. But what I was thinking is that I was thinking about releasing the shift that I picked up tomorrow. I mean, I didn't get approved for it yet. And then trying to pick up a shift tonight instead so I can have tomorrow off. But what if I don't end up doing something tomorrow either? Like, I'm supposed to go to the movies with Becca at night, so I'm just going to wait and see if she hits me up. She usually doesn't hit me up until the day of, so I'll see what she says. And yeah, I'm going to go take off my makeup now because I don't feel like wearing it anymore. I'm going to get changed, and I'm probably going to have some lunch. So yeah, that's it. Bye. The Smashbox Primer Water and the Stila One-Step Corrector. And then I went in with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in the color Light Neutral, and then I just went in with the Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer in the color Porcelain to conceal and highlight, and then I just set everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 2. Then I primed my eyes with the MAC Prep and Prime in the 24-hour base, and then I went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then I went in with Makeup Geek Peaches and Cream as my transition shade. And then I went in with newer eyeshadows today. I am going to be hauling these tomorrow, even though you'll see this video like 2 weeks after anyway. So I went in with a newer custom-made palette by Buxom today because I really wanted to try out their eyeshadows recently. So I did recently pick up a palette from them, and this is what the eyeshadows look like. So I'm just going to share with you what they are. So the first shade is called Lingerie Lover, so I put that in the crease. Then I darken up the crease more, I believe, with this color, and I think this color is called... What the heck is this color? I'm changing. Give me a minute. What is this color? It's called Gimme Gorge. So I went in with that shade in the crease, and then I went in with this shade on the outer corners, which is called Big Spender. And then for the lid shade, I went in with the gold shade called Gold Status, and then for the brow bone shade, I went in with Cashmere Craving. Sorry, my mom, of course, has to annoy me about everything, and she came to talk to me at the door, but I have to change first, so that's what I went in with on my eyes, and then I went in with the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara on the top. Then I concealed under my eyes with the Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer again, and then set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. And then I smudged Gimme Gorge on the lower lash line, and then I highlighted the inner corners with this shade right here, which is called Champagne Buzz. So I did use all the shades in the palette. So far, I think that these are really, really pretty shadows, so I probably will be using them and testing them out more often. They probably will be in a favorites video, though, because I'm already really liking them a lot. They're really pigmented, really blendable. They're really easy to blend, honestly, so I think I am really loving those. So that's what I did for the eyes, and then I just went with the MAC Extended Play Cake Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cabo bronzer in the shade Cabo, obviously. Excuse me. And then I went in with the Galactic Star Blush in the shade Naples on the cheeks, and then I highlighted with the Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Crushed Pearl and... No, Hard Candy, Crushed Pearl, and the other pink shade in that palette. I forget what it's called. But I did use 3 different shades in the palette. The only color in the shade Gleam, the Glow Kit in Gleam, and I used the, 3 pinky shades in the palette. Hard Candy, Crushed Pearl, and I can't remember what the other one is called. It's all good. There's only 4 shades of that. The only one I didn't use was Mimosa. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, and then I started everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer and Caramel, and then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer, and then I lined them with the MAC Lip Pencil in the shade Dervish. And then I filled them in with the Kat Von D Matte Studded Kiss Lipstick. Sorry, I'm just grabbing something. In the shade Lovecraft, because I wanted something to be a nice blushy pink, so that's what I used. Okay, so hi. Just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for, my second makeup look for today. I'm just reading something for a second. So today was a really, 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 really weird day, and a really bad day, honestly. Since I told you all that shit that happened with my friend and the traffic violation, even more weird shit happened. First of all, I wasn't really that happy to hang out with them because we ended up making up and apologizing to each other, even though I really didn't feel like I needed to apologize. And then when I explained this to my boyfriend, he was like, yeah, I don't understand why she would do that. But whatever. So not really going to get into it because I kind of smoked, so I'm a little bit high, so I don't really give a shit. But anyway, I know I'm very descriptive in these, but I feel like nobody watches the whole thing anyway. So, yeah, so when I was coming home, there was a car on fire on the side of the road. I was freaking out, and I called my boyfriend, and I was like, oh my god, there's a car on fire. It was just really scary, and I was hoping that everybody was okay. I just kind of freaked out when I saw it on fire, so it was really weird. Oh my god, there's a car on fire See that? Isn't that crazy? So that happened, and then yeah, so anyway, I just really wanted to go out with friends today just to, have some fun, and I'm just still kind of really annoyed at her because of the way that she talked about it to me. I don't think it was very cool. But I'm going to tell you about my makeup look. And then when I came home, my mom had told me that there has been something crazy happening in my neighborhood lately. Just basically on the other side of us. Okay, so I live on one road, and the other road that's behind me is like right in the back of our house. So we live on a hill, and the hill like kind of descends, down towards the other side where the other road is behind us. We live on a really high hill, and then it like descends towards the other road that's behind us, because if you come down our road intersects with the other road. Let's just call this road A and this road B. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you where I live. But road A kind of goes this way and road B goes this way, and they intersect. And so if you turn this way around, like you come this way and you turn around, you're behind my house. And if you go further down that road, there's a riding center. So like my hills are very like, they're famous for being haunted, but they're also famous for being riding centers. That's why most people come here. This road behind us is very well known, but they don't really know about our road, but they know about the other road because they say that it's haunted. So if you go down that road, and we have historic roads as well, so, but yeah, let me not brag about our roads, but yeah, they are old roads, they're like 100 years old. So if you go down further, there's a stable there, and apparently they were dumping toxic waste from certain trucks that would dump toxic waste here from we don't know where, but apparently it got into the soil, and it was like really fine particles that were being dumped there. And this has been going on for a year, which is crazy, but they said it's not toxic to us right now. But it's insane that it even happened for this long, because it's in a wide open area where there's a ton of soil and open space. It's not like where there's like a bunch of buildings or where there's like a bunch of houses. It's right in a center of riding. So it's a little bit weird that nobody called anybody. But yeah, all this stuff happened to me today. And we went to go see Miss Pettigrew's Peculiar Children. So very peculiar things happened today. I was like, I guess I was destined to see this movie because, the weirdest and craziest shit happened to me today. So, fought with my friends, got a traffic ticket, and had to pay it. Car was on fire, and this toxic waste thing. I'm just so ready to go to bed. I was so ready to stay home after I made that makeup look earlier, but I just ripped all of my makeup off, and then we ended up apologizing to each other, so I ended up going to see the movie. The only reason why I went with them was to see the movie and to see my other friend. I wasn't really too keen on seeing my friend that I was fighting with because I was still really pissed off about what happened, so I just really wanted to see my other friend because I haven't seen him in a while, so anyway, so excuse me, so I just decided to wear this elephant shirt because it's a really comfy J. Crew shirt. Oh, and then wear my olive green jacket over it. So I'm going to do this pretty quick because I have to call my boyfriend back. So I primed my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Stila One Step Corrector. He kept on trying to call me like a couple times today, but the 2 times that he called me, I was at work and then I was at the movies. So he called me right when I was like 10 minutes out of getting out of work, and I called him back and he didn't answer because he said that he didn't get the phone call. And then when I was at the movies, he called me, and I was like, sorry, I'm in the movie theater, so, yeah. And then, but then I texted him, I'm sorry, I'm at the movie, so I decided to call him at 11, and he picked up, like, right away, so, but he hadn't answered me when I said I'm at the movies, so, whatever, he's like that. It's annoying, but whatever. Then I went in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. I don't really care. I'm like so pissed today. I've just been venting like crazy. In the color Siberia. And then I went in with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Light Warm. It's still my favorite. Still my favorite. I love it. And then I went over everything, not Light Warm, Fair Neutral. I keep on forgetting I changed the color. I've been so used to saying Light Neutral like for 10 million years because I've used it so much. And then I went over everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 2. Also, my toothache is back, so I'm going to try and rush through this because I need to go brush my teeth. I don't know why it's back. It's like anytime I get something stuck there, it starts hurting like crazy. So it stopped hurting for a few days after my friend's birthday, and then for some reason the pain came back today. So then I primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-hour primer because I got a little bit more out of the tube, but I feel like it's almost done. I'm so tired because I'm baked. I mean, I'm not baked, but it does make you tired. I wasn't that high. It just like makes you extremely tired and talkative, apparently. And then I went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder, and then I went in with, of course, actually I didn't go in with Beaches and Cream because I used the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette today, and I used a couple of the matte colors. I used Lazarus first to go in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Celios, and then I went in with Shax on the outer corners, and then for the lid color, I went in with Makeup Geek's Jewel Chrome Shadow in the shade Typhoon. It's one of my favorites, and I try to like wear it every time I wear this shirt. I mean, jacket. For some reason, I revolve it more around my jacket than I do around this, but yeah. I really love it, and I just, you know, kept it like that because I love this shirt. Yeah, but I just felt like wearing this today. I was going to wear something from Hot Topic originally, but then I wasn't even sure if I was going out because I had already taken my makeup off, and I was just pretty upset, but she ended up wanting me to come, so whatever. Then I went in with Lucius and Liberatus on the brow bone. I actually went in with also Lucius and Liberatus all over the eye before I started. I forgot that that's what I kind of used to have my eyeshadows blend better. Then I went in with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper, and then I went in with the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara again. Not really doing as much as I want to. I think I need to start getting like a couple of false lashes or something to really help my looks look a little better. I've been wanting to get the Ardell adhesives forever, but they don't sell them at Ulta, so let's not make this a 20-minute diary entry for one day. Then I went in with the Urban Decay Concealer underneath my eyes and then set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. At least one good thing that came out of today is at least my makeup turned out really, really good. Because when it doesn't, then I get pissed, but it turned out good this morning and it turned out good this afternoon. So I was like, okay, cool. As long as that turns out good, I guess we're good. And then I went in with the ColourPop Gel Liner in the shade Fastlane, and then I went in with the Makeup Geek Foiled Shadows in the shade Charmed, and a little bit of Jester on the inner corners, and then I went in with the MAC Cinematic Black Lash. Then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cabo Bronzer, and then I went in with the Tarte 12-hour blush in the shade Exposed, and then I highlighted with the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighters in the shades Starlight and So Hollywood. I mixed them together and I really liked how it turned out. It kind of faded though, a little bit, but I don't care. Then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, then I set everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel and set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer, then I lined them with the MAC Lip Pencil in the shade BFF2, and then I filled them in with the Makeup Monsters Liquid Lipstick in the shade Terracotta because I love this lipstick. It's so fucking comfortable. It didn't go anywhere. Just so good. I love these so much. I did reapply once because I kind of got a lot of salad all over my mouth. But yeah, I'm going to go take my makeup off and hopefully my boyfriend will answer my phone call. So that's it. Bye. Sorry I had like droned on to bye. Okay, so hi. So I just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. I really wanted to shoot a like fall makeup tutorial on this look today, but I was kind of already running behind that I really just wanted my makeup to look good, so I just didn't shoot anything. So I just decided to throw on my makeup as soon as I can, as fast as I could, even though it's like way past when I was supposed to go to my boyfriend's house. It's like 3:30 already. We're actually supposed to try and go to the cider mill today because we didn't make it there last week because I had to get a birthday present for my friend that I saw in the city, and the one that I saw yesterday that I was pretty upset at. I'm still pretty upset at her. We haven't talked today, and when we did hang out, I wasn't really talking to her all that much. I kind of just only wanted to see my other friend and I just wanted to see the movie, like I said. So, and then after that, she left after the movie, so I just got to hang out with him and our other friends. So that's what I basically wanted to do. And my friend now was seeing somebody, so she was with us too, and she was nice. Maybe I have to hang out with her more to see if like she's cool or whatever. But yeah, she seemed nice, but honestly, I just wanted to hang out with them after she left, so that was pretty cool. And they're just like super chill and they don't really care because they're both guys. Like, I'm just sick of this girl drama where it's like, oh, well, I didn't text you, so my plans weren't with you, and no one invited you. Like, that's what she said to me, and I was just like, why are you being such a cold person about this? Like, I don't know. Like, she knew I wanted to see this movie, so why would you just purposely leave me out of it for no reason? Just because you see me too much? Like, I just think it's kind of messed up. But anyway, yeah, so we're supposed to go to the cider mill today. I just texted him like 10 minutes ago and he hasn't responded to me, so he hasn't really texted me since last night, so I probably just have to call him before I leave and be like, I'm leaving. We're probably only going to spend like an hour or two at the cider mill. It doesn't close till 6 o'clock, so if I get to his house after 4 and if we leave at like 4:30, we're still going to have a good like hour or so there, which should be fine. So anyway, I primed my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Stila One Step Corrector. Then I went in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in the color Siberia because I just like this foundation for... It is full coverage, but it's not like as crazy full coverage as like the Urban Decay, and I don't know, I've just been enjoying it lately, so I've just been using it more often. And I just like the more paler face with fall looks because I feel like you can warm it up a lot with bronzer and stuff like that, so that's what I've been doing. And then I just concealed, of course, with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the color Fair Neutral because I just feel like this concealer works the best with this foundation. I was going to use the MAC Pro Longwear, but then I just decided to use this instead. Then I went over everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder in the color 2. What else am I going to use? And then I primed my eyes with the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Base, and then I went over that with the same powder. Same Giorgio Armani powder, and then I went in with Makeup Geek's Peaches and Cream as my transition shade, and then I went in with the Lime Crime Venus palette again today. I swear to God, I'm like addicted to using it this fall because it's just so easy to use. They're probably the most pigmented mattes that I have, like not even kidding. You like basically only have to like dip your brush maybe like twice and you get full pigment on your crease and you really don't have to blend it out too much. Like it's going to be like bam pigment as soon as you put it on and then you blend it out like a little bit. And it's just so easy to apply. So I was intending on using Makeup Geek shadows with Showtime, but this was actually a lot quicker to do because they do blend out really easily. And I have to say, today and yesterday I actually did my makeup pretty good. I barely messed up anything except for my lip today, so I had to go over that a couple times. But that's the only good thing that's been happening lately is that my makeup has just been applying really smoothly. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So yeah, and then I went in with the Lime Crime Venus palette today. I used the shade Creation in the crease, and I darkened up the crease more with Muse, and then I went in with Icon on the outer corners. That's basically all I used from the palette because everything else is from Makeup Geek and ColourPop, so I did go in with ColourPop's Porter from Kathleen Lights on the lid, and also this is a quicker shade to use as well because it's a kind of matte red. It has a little bit of shimmer in it, but then it won't transfer or go anywhere, and it doesn't have fallout because it's like a pressed eyeshadow, so you don't have to worry about fallout like the Kat Von D Raw Power or Makeup Geek Showtime. It's just a lot faster to apply, so I thought that would just be easier to use. And also, I want to use the Lime Crime Venus palette and the ColourPop shadows more during the fall, but I'm probably going to use the Makeup Geek shadows at some point again. But as you can tell, burgundy looks are my favorite. Burgundy looks are my favorite. Then I went in with Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean on the brow bone, and then I lined my eyes with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper. What else do I use? Then I went in with the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara on the top, and then I concealed under my eyes with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and then set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. Then I went in with ColourPop's Gel Liner in the shade Besto on the lower lash line, And then I highlighted the inner corners with Makeup Geek's in the Spotlight. I haven't used it in a while on the inner corners, and it's such a pretty, like, peachy highlight. I could use champagne pop too. It basically would work the same, but it's like basically champagne pop in a, I love how, my friend reacted to my post that I posted on Facebook yesterday, the one that was giving me a hard time about seeing her, because I wrote some drama happened. Not obviously saying, like, everything that happened with her. I just feel like my eyeshadow looks really good today. I think I blended it really nice. But I love how she, like, indirectly reacted to my Facebook post when that some drama happened part is all about her. So I'm surprised she didn't, like, text me about it and be like, what drama was it? So, but, like, 8 people reacted to my post, and I don't really post many Facebook statuses anymore because people think sometimes they're stupid, but whatever. And then, anyway, I went in with MAC and Sample Cake a Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cabo bronzer. I just love it. It's just so good. It's so good for the fall, so it's just been, like, my addiction to use. I was going to contour today, but it's just easier to bronze the skin, so that's what I did. And then I went in with the Becca Mineral Blush in the shade Songbird. I was going to use Wild Honey, but I feel like I haven't used Songbird in a while, so I wanted to use that, and it looked really pretty. And then I highlighted with the, of course, Becca Shimmy Skin Perfector Press in Champagne Pop. I'm hitting some serious pan on it. Like, it's just the best. I love it so much. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, and then I set everything with the Urban Decay Chin Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel, and then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer. Then I lined them with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Slide On Pencil in the shade Liar. I always keep on wanting to say liar, but I'm like, liar. And then I filled them in with the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Tulle, one of my favorites for the fall. It was pretty drying when I first put it on, and it kind of looks a little bit wrinkly right now, but it is a year old. But once I had it on, it's not as drying as before. Now it feels okay, but I think I'm going to go now. But I did wear my BCBG dress today. I love wearing this in the fall, and yeah, I just really wanted to, again, wear plaid, because I really like wearing plaid when we go, like, to apple picking and stuff like that. You know, I'm very cliche, but it's fall time, so I want to wear my fall stuff. I don't know why this is giving me a hard time. Just gonna leave it like that. But I did pair it with this necklace, and then I just wore tights and my Frye boots because I love these boots. And I feel like I should include, like, fashion in these as well, and maybe do, like, weekly lookbooks for fashion, or maybe do, like, maybe I should just do a, like, fall lookbook. If you guys are interested in that, I think I should just do a fall fashion lookbook. Maybe I'll shoot that tonight or something. I think that would be fun. But it's not like my outfits are that creative, but this is definitely one of my favorite outfits to wear in the fall time. And yeah, that's it. Bye! Okay, so hi, so I just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. I'm not sure if my boyfriend's going to be coming over or if I'm going to be going to him, because my mom actually wants to make dinner for us tonight, so I still haven't been able to tell him yet because he hasn't texted me today. The last I heard from him was last night because, like I've said a million times before, he works overnight, so I never know when he's going to be awake. It's 4:30 already and he's still not up. I feel like it's just, like, I hate his schedule sometimes because usually he's up earlier on Saturdays to, like, see what I'm doing, and he usually just wants me to text him on Saturdays, so that's what I do, but I feel like sometimes he's just not awake, and that's one of those days today. So, sorry, I'm just trying to find my lipstick for a second. I just wanted to touch it up a little bit. But, you know, I can never find anything in this damn apron for work. Everything just ends up being a bottomless pit. There we go. So anyway, with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. Then I went in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 2, and then I went in with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the color NW15. Sorry, this is just annoying me for some reason. It wasn't, like, filled in really. I think it looks okay. because it's like a sheer lipstick, so it sometimes doesn't really fill in on the outer parts. Oh my god. Wow. Where is that? Let me just see my mirror for a second. Oh my god, I'm such a mess. I am always a mess. Like, seriously. Let me see where my mirror is. But I'm just going to be waiting for him and just take a shower and stuff, so. It saves me time if he just comes here. Okay, so anyway, then I concealed with the MAC Pro Long Concealer in the color NW15. I kind of wanted to do an all MAC look today, so that's what I basically did. And then I set everything with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the color 2, because obviously I really love the combination of wearing the Giorgio Armani liquid foundation with the powder on top. I just think it's like so flawless. It just looks so pretty and natural. Then I primed my eyes with the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour base, and then I went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then, of course, I went in with Makeup Geeks Peaches and Cream first as my transition shade, and then I went in with all MAC shadows today. I used soft brown in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with brown script, but it kind of, like, faded because I didn't really want it to be too dark. So I just, like, did it very lightly because I didn't want it to be too orangey. I kind of don't have, like, a darker, warmer tone, like, darker brown. Like, brown script is kind of towards, like, the reddish brown side, so it's not, like, completely neutral. So I didn't want it to be too orange because I was doing a pink lip. So I'm probably going to use it again, though, when I use Copper Ring and stuff. And then I went in with brown down on the outer corners, and I went in with all that glitters, of course, on the lid because it's, like, one of my favorites. And then I went in with Blanc Type on the brow bone. Then I went in with the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara on the top lashes, and then I concealed under my eyes with the MAC Pro Longwear, which I still love. It's still one of my favorites underneath the eyes. And then I set that with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and then I smudged soft brown on the lower lash line, and then I went in with the MAC Cinnaplique Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Then I bronzed up the skin, of course, with the Galactic Cobalt Bronzer, and then I went in with the MAC Powder Blush in the shade Spellbinder, and then I highlighted with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, and then I set everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel, and then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer, and then I lined them with the MAC Lip Pencil in the shade Dervish, and then I filled them in with the MAC Luster Finish Lipstick in the shade Syrup, because I am trying to do like one brand looks, and I feel like that makes me use the lipsticks more, so I've just been doing that a lot more for work. So this is one of my favorites anyway, so I'm going to be wearing a lot more pinky lipsticks lately, and that's basically it. So bye! Okay, so hi, so I just wanted to tell you about my makeup look for today. Just give me 1 second because I got a couple of text messages. My boyfriend decided to text me until like 8 o'clock today, so we've only been talking the past like 3 hours. Like 8 p.m. at night. I was so tired. Because I like hopped up on painkillers the past couple of days because, like I said, my toothache came back and it was like back full force last night, but for some reason it didn't hurt as much today. I only took 1 dose of Tylenol today and it pretty much helped the entire day. Like I didn't really feel it hurting after that, so that's good. Okay, so anyway, I did just work tonight, so I primed my face with the Smashbox Primer Water and the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. Actually, this week is probably going to be more eventful than the past couple of weeks because tomorrow night's probably the only night I'm going to be here because I just work in the morning and then I am just relaxing because after tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I have plans every day. Yeah, but anyway, since I was on painkillers the last couple days, I'm just like wiped. I'm really tired today. I didn't really sleep that great last night, but I was pretty busy at work, and also, it was just like throbbing pain last night, so I didn't sleep that great. But I figured if I would try to go to sleep, then maybe the pain would be better, and it's always better the next day. Like, not like worse pain, but like ended up like going away a little bit more. But I really like how my makeup's been turning out lately. I think it turned out really good today. So I used mostly Tarte products today and a little bit of ColourPop. Excuse me, I just had like loaded mashed potatoes from Cheesecake. I always bring food home from there. They have like such great food. So I went in with the Dior Air Flash Sprayed Foundation in the color Ivory, and then I went in with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, again in the color NW15. I hope I said that yesterday too, because that's what I used yesterday. And then I went in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder Foundation in the color 2 to set everything. And then I primed my eyes with the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Base, and then went over that with the same Giorgio Armani powder. And then I went in with the Tarte Tartelette in Bloom palette today. I used oh, sorry. I used Flower Child in the crease first, and then I darkened up the crease more with Sweetheart. Then I went in with Rebel. Wait, no. I went in with Flower Child first as my transition shade. Look how much I've used of this shade already. Flower Child. Like, kind of crazy how much I've used of it. It's a really nice transition shade. Then I went in with Sweetheart to go over that. I don't know why I can't talk. Then I went in with the Rebel to darken up the crease, and then I went in with Leader on the outer corners. Then for the lid, I went in with the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Weenie by Kathleen Lights from the Where the Night Is quad. And then I went in with the color Charmer on the brow bone from the palette. And then I went in with the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Mad Max Brown. And then I went in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara on the top. Then I concealed under my eyes. I love how there's like a glow, because of this. Like, oh, like right there. Oh, oh, oh. I'm such a dork. It's because like the gold is like reflecting off the, so it kind of gives me a little bit of like a gold effect. Isn't that cool? Like, oh. Look like an angel. Anyway, yeah, and then I went in with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer on the bottom, and then I set that with the Longwear Stay Secret Brightening Powder, and then I smudged Smarty Pants and Sweetheart on the lower lash line, and then I highlighted the inner corners with Funny Girl. And then I went in with the MAC Skin of Like Black Lash on the bottom lashes. Give me 1 second, my friend's going to sleep. And then I bronzed up the skin with the Galactic Cobalt Bronzer, because I like grabbing that, and it's basically the first thing that I grab. And then I went in with this blush palette, because I feel like I don't use these Tarte blushes as much as I should. So I went in with the Tarte Tartist blush palette. I love the packaging of this. And I went in with the shades Love and Dream, the two like pinkier shades. So I used those on the cheeks, and I thought they came out really, really pretty. It's just such a pretty palette. Like, look how pretty that is. Like, I'm not one that really bought the holiday palettes from Tarte, so I thought this was such a great palette to buy, and I just love staring at it, so I really need to use it more because it's just such pretty packaging. So I'm obsessed with this packaging. It's so pretty. And then I went in with the Tarte Skin Twinkle Lighting Palette, and I went in with the shades Sunlight and Moonlight, obviously to highlight. And then I went over everything with the Hourglass Ethereal Light Powder, and then I started everything with the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. Then I filled in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Definer in Caramel, and then set that with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Then I primed my lips with the Bite Beauty Lip Primer, and then I lined them with my entire lips with the MAC Lip Pencil in the shade Soar, and then I filled them in with the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade November by Kathleen Lights as well. I really did like how this looked today. I think because I filled my entire lips with it instead of just slapping it on with a lip liner, I think really helped. I just think it like applied a lot better than it usually does, and I think it just stayed on a lot nicer. So, and I just love this lip with this look. I think it just looks so pretty. I gotta go before I like pass out. I'm so tired. Bye.